President Trump saying his goal is to bring manufacturing to the United States or back to the United States. The president saying he wants to create jobs in this country and then ship them overseas.
The president making those comments yesterday at an Investing in America event at the White House. And it included top executives from companies like NVIDIA, Johnson & Johnson, Eli Lilly, GE, Aerospace, and SoftBank. With that, we'd like to welcome in Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt, Vice Chairman of the Senate Joint Economic Committee. Sir, welcome back to National Report. So obviously, it will take some time to build major factories. Do you believe Americans will be able to afford all the necessary items until those promised investments are actually in place?
Yeah, I think the best evidence of this is President Trump's first term, right? He instituted tariffs, but we saw record wage growth, and it didn't matter the demographic, male, female, black, white, everybody made more money, including inflation-adjusted numbers. We didn't see inflation, and we saw that record growth because we had good energy policy, we had good tax policy, we had good regulatory policy, and good trade policy. And that's what we're seeing now, a continuation of that. And I think it's important to put it into context, Emma, that, you know, after the Cold War, we never adjusted. So for 30 years now, we've had these sweetheart deals for all these foreign countries that treat us very poorly. So what President Trump is saying, we're going to treat you like you treat us, bring those trade barriers down, we'll have more access to markets, all the while manufacturing and jobs come here. And you've seen that with these announcements, whether it's NVIDIA, Honda, Mercedes-Benz, chips factories, all that stuff's coming to the United States, and I think our best days are still ahead of us.
Well, President Trump is in the process of renegotiating a number of trade deals, as they have confirmed. And Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick spoke with our own Rob Schmitt just a little more than 12 hours ago and said, we just need to give it time. Here's that.
The best line I could say is, let the greatest deal maker make his deals.
Yeah.
Right? When you don't bet on Donald Trump, you're making a mistake. He understands. He's got great people around him. Let him work through the process of getting a better deal from everybody else in the world.
Do you have the same confidence that the Secretary has?
I do. We've been in conversations just this week with the administration on the progress of those talks. I've been very encouraged. And I think actually the first deals are going to be very important, right? They set the framework of what everybody's going to be looking at after that. And so the net of all this is going to be, you know, we're going to stop being treated unfairly by these countries that not just have tariffs, but other sort of trade barriers. They have, you know, your chickens aren't washed properly, send them back. Those sorts of things that really inhibit our products to get to market, our commodities to get into those economies. So I'm very optimistic of this, and I think it is important to look at, there's got sort of two different buckets here. You've got China and you've got everybody else. So a lot of the negotiations are happening with everybody else, and they should, but China's a different animal. They export 5 times the amount we export to them. They steal our IP. They subsidize products, they dump products, they take out whole industries. And we need to understand that China is the greatest threat, not just militarily to the United States, but from an economic perspective, the way they've handled trade over the last 30 years, really. Since they've been admitted to the World Trade Organization, which was a huge mistake, they've taken advantage of every scenario. They're the world's biggest cheaters.
So many goods, as we know, are made in China. We have viewers write us all the time. They say, we'd love to support American-made goods, but it's not even all that transparent. Sometimes when you're ordering online, you don't know until it actually arrives. I wanted to ask you, though, Senator, about a truth post we saw from the president just yesterday. I'll paraphrase it, but it had to do with President placing blame on the former administration, Joe Biden, for what we're seeing right now with the markets. Do you share that same sentiment, considering we've seen a lot of fluctuation in the Trump term?
Absolutely. I mean, look, this was a slow-moving disaster that didn't happen overnight. Joe Biden in 4 years actually absolutely wrecked our economy. We saw 20% inflation, right? So everything got way more expensive. Mortgage costs double based on those interest rates that went up. We had, a border we were flooded through mass migration. So it's not going to happen overnight, but I think you've seen real progress in the first 100 days. You've got that record investment, trillions of dollars we talked about. He has effectively sealed the border. If anybody would have told you a year ago that we would, unlawful entries would have decreased 95 to 99%, you would have said we needed a new president to do it. We got a new president, and that's exactly what he's done. So I'm very encouraged about where we're at. But yeah, there's a lot of sort of a Biden hangover here of his disastrous economic policies that affected working Americans. President Trump's on a path to address those things. We've seen progress, but there's a lot more to come.